During a medical work trip to a poor Tanzanian village, my father shared a hotel room with another man from his group. One night, his roommate woke him up with the light on, looking terrified. Despite my dad's concern and inquiry, his roommate refused to say anything. The next night, my father got up to pee and noticed a strong scent of body odor. As a daily deodorant user from the United States, he suspected that he and his roommate might not be alone in the room, because many Tanzanians do not wear it regularly. My father turned and saw a local woman standing in the doorway, shaking and with her eyes rolled up to the ceiling. Panicked, my dad turned back to the bathroom for a moment, and when he turned around again, the woman disappeared. Later that night, my dad smelled the odor again and saw the woman lying on the bed beside him, staring at the ceiling. This happened to his roommate the previous night too, which explained why the man was so shaken. While the anti-malarial medication they were taking can cause strange dreams, it was still creepy that they both had the same experience. My company would arrange for us to stay at the Shiloh Inn in downtown Salt Lake City. One of my coworkers was awakened in the middle of the night by the sounds of a group of children in the hallway. The noise continued for a while, so he opened the room door to tell them to quiet down, only to find no one in the hallway. He could still hear the children, so he called the front desk to complain, thinking they might be in an adjoining room. The front desk worker said that there were no kids staying on that floor, but he offered to send some earplugs and assured my coworker that the noise would subside soon. My coworker was a bit frustrated that the front desk worker didn't seem to believe him, but he eventually went back to sleep. The next day when he was checking out, a different clerk asked him if his stay had been satisfactory. My coworker complained about the noisy kids and how the previous clerk had dismissed his complaints. The clerk seemed uncomfortable and said in a low voice, "We're not supposed to talk about our history with guests, but you should Google Rachel David and you'll understand what happened to you. We get similar complaints every few weeks, and we try not to put kids on that floor." On the way to the airport in the van, my coworker searched for Rachel David on his phone. He learned the story of how a mother had thrown her 7 children off the balcony of the hotel to their deaths before jumping herself. A year ago, I found myself in rural Arkansas, the type of place where everyone knows each other. I typically sleep with all the lights off and unplug the alarm clock to avoid any extra light. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night and noticed that the bathroom light was on, the tap was running, and the shower was on. I knew I couldn't have left them on, but I was tired and thought I might have forgotten. I turned them off and went back to sleep. A couple of hours later, I woke up again and realized that the lights and water were on in the bathroom again. The tub had even started to overflow and water was seeping out. I was terrified and immediately went to the front desk, where I found a half-asleep middle-aged lady who was the manager. Her dog was also there, sound asleep. I explained the situation to her. She followed me back to the room. She was shocked when she saw the state of the bathroom. Meanwhile, the dog had woken up and started barking wildly outside the room. The bathroom lights suddenly went out and we both ran out of the room. The lady kept shouting for her dog, "Charlie, Charlie," but the dog kept barking. After what felt like an eternity, we left the room with the dog and went to the front desk, where we sat for the rest of the night. While on a study abroad program in Madagascar, a stomach illness swept through our group, causing sickness every few days. As we arrived at our fourth hotel, it was my turn to fall ill. The group dropped me off at the hotel, which seemed like it was straight out of a horror movie with suits of armor in the foyer, poor lighting, and a creepy middle-aged owner. We were the only guests, making the hotel eerily quiet. The residents' cats howling added to the spooky atmosphere. The magnificently large and ornate stairs led to pitch-black hallways that were motion-activated, but with a large delay, flickering after you had already passed them. When I reached my room, my stomach was churning. Fluids were shooting out of both ends. I crawled into bed and fell asleep. In the middle of my sleep, I heard the doorknob jingling for 3 minutes. And then, the door slowly opened. The hallway was pitch black. No one answered after I said hello. After a few seconds, the door slammed shut with a loud bang. I needed to go to the bathroom, but I was too afraid to get out of bed. When I mustered the courage, I heard the sink running, as if someone was washing their hands. That's when I realized the bathroom door was open, but I had closed it because of the smell of my sickness. I covered myself with my blanket and tried to go back to sleep. After a few more hours, my group returned to the hotel. I joined them for dinner. They were staring at me as if they saw a ghost. They asked me if I was the one opening and closing their doors or knocking on their doors and running away before they opened them. One girl heard a whisper through her window, although we were on the 4th floor. During the rest of our stay, I didn't experience anything else, but everyone in my group had to deal with constant door harassment and whispers. And that cat, the hotel cat, the resident cat, howled every night from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.